Welcome to the Floor Academy podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hadeen, owner of Illustrious Hardwoods in Mesa, Arizona. With me this week is Chuck Meyers. We are checking in after 2 years with Chuck because the last time we talked to him, he didn't even know he was going broke. And it was when I had just kind of come out with the business budgeting spreadsheet. He downloaded it, went through his numbers. He's like, dude, I'm losing money. Like every day I go to work, I'm losing money working for this store that I work for. So he ran through the spreadsheet, put his numbers in it, and he got all the information together. He sat down with the owner of the store and the manager. He presented them an actual like, hey, look, this is what it's costing me to run my business. This is what you're paying me and what I'm making, and I can't make it work. So they all had a talk, and they didn't just increase his rates, they increased the rates across the board for everyone in the shop in a couple of areas, and they all started making more money. So there's a powerful tool when you go and talk to a businessman as a businessman and you have data to back up what you're telling them, as opposed to going in and saying, hey man, can I have a quarter more? They ain't going to pay you a quarter if you can't justify the quarter and show them why you actually deserve it. But here we are 2 years down the road, and Chuck is now nothing but chiseled steel and sex appeal, and he's suplexing yard flamingos. All right. He is absolutely out there just killing it. And if you search around on his Facebook page, there's probably a video of him with that quote coming out of his mouth, and it is nothing but man taking out yard flamingos. All right. It's pretty entertaining. So we're going to check in and see what's going on. He's still working at the store, although that ended for a while because things got a little ugly, but he's since mended and he's got some employees now. So things are on the up and up for Meyers Flooring. So we're going to figure out what all is going on over there. Before we get started, I got a couple of things we need to do, little housekeeping around here before we get the show going, and we have Chuck introduce himself, give us a little info. First things first, it is December, and with that being said, Tice is right around the corner. So stop what you're doing, keep listening, but stop all the activities you're doing besides listening. You're going to go to the International Surface Event webpage. I know what that is. It's intlsurfaceevent.com. I don't know why I read it all the time. You'd think I'd know. intlsurfaceevent.com. Go to the webpage. You're going to go and register for surfaces right now. It's going to ask you for a promo code. You're going to put in KYLE, Kyle. You can't mess it up. It's my name. And you're going to get a free registration. And so you're going to take care of all of that. And then when it asks you if you want to sign up for any extra stuff, Wednesday morning I have a talk. So it's a what are they called? They're something sessions, and I can't think of it because I'm a horrible salesman. You want to go buy my talk on Wednesday morning, and so I'm going to be talking about org charts and how to look at them a little bit differently to help you better manage your business. So the money that you saved on registration, you're going to pay for that, and I'll see you Wednesday morning. We're going to have a great time. I've got some demos that I'm going to do there while we're going through a talk. And then you're going to book a hotel room. And now you're all booked. You're all paid for. And you're actually going to come to the show. We're going to hang out. We're going to network. It's going to be a great time. Again, intlsurfaceevent.com. Promo code Kyle. KYLE. Gets you a free exhibition pass. Super excited to see you all there. Who is Floor Academy? If you're here, you're listening, you're new. This show exists because when I got started in the industry eight years ago, oh my goodness, 8 years ago, I said, I don't know how to run a business and I need to make money because there's no reason to be in business if I can only pay my bills, or even worse, not pay my bills and just continue to live paycheck to paycheck, or have to, somehow borrow money to continue to survive. That's a horrible way to do this. So I started looking for advice and business podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And I typed in flooring one day. It didn't exist. And so here we are, where I interview somebody different every week. And we talk about the back end of the business so that you can find little golden nuggets to implement into your business. We have some amazing resources on our website, flooracademypod.com. As previously mentioned, there's the business budget calculator, which Chuck used to figure out his numbers. You can use them to figure out your numbers and actually be profitable. We've got a tool organizer, like an equipment tracking list over there that you can download and use. There is a job costing profitability calculator spreadsheet, and there's some other wonderful tools over there. Don't forget to look into our mastermind groups. I'm trying to get a new one started here in early January, so I need 5 individuals that are committed to wanting to grow their business, and you can learn more at flooracademypod.com/mastermind. What else? Go check out the shop. And if you want to help support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/Floor Academy. Even $5 a month goes a long way in me helping to continue to produce this content. All right. We got one more little thing. So if you're looking for an easy and affordable way to manage your business, Cronus Flooring software is your solution. Streamline your workflow from managing leads, inventory, and scheduling installations. It includes every feature needed to support your business at a very affordable price. It's extremely user-friendly and easy to navigate. Full integration with QuickBooks makes tracking your profitability as easy as clicking a button. Visit cronusoft.com, KRONUSSOFT.com, and schedule a demo today. Let them know that I sent you over. It is a great software, an amazing CRM. It is built by a flooring retailer that looked at the other options available, said these all suck. He went and found a programmer, and they started building this thing out from the ground up to fit the needs of an actual flooring retailer from a flooring retailer perspective. So I'm super impressed with it. I loved what I saw, and they're continuing to add new features all the time. They would love your feedback. Get a demo, start organizing your business, tracking what's going on, and being able to keep track of your clients. So that all being said, that's enough out of me. I apologize. I'm long-winded. That's an intro and a half. Chuck, who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And welcome back.
Well, Chuck Meyers, owner, operator of Meyers Flooring in the Metro Detroit area. Uh, just like to install floors, something I enjoy.
Beautiful. And again, it's been like a decade of you doing, a little over a decade now of you doing floors. And
So I think 15 years this coming summer.
okay. Congratulations, dude. That's awesome. And it's carpet, it's hardwood, it's laminate, vinyl plank, sheet vinyl. No tile, though, right? Tile.
Nope.
Okay.
Got into tile finally,
All right.
professionally.
Nice.
Yeah, basically if it goes on the floor, I will figure out how to put it in.
Okay. I love it, dude. Good. Options. You can stay busy. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So again, last time we checked in, we'll kind of start there, right? Let's get a little recap. You essentially reached out to me and you were like, dude, I'm going broke. Like, I'm losing money going to work every day is where we were at. So you got the spreadsheet, you used the spreadsheet, you put in all of your expenses, how much money you would ideally like to make as a salary, how much money you wanted to make in profit, what kind of a truck you wanted to be able to afford in a few years, all that fun stuff that spreadsheet goes through, and it spit out a number and you were like, I don't make that.
Yeah.
And so what happened from there, besides it being absolutely eye-opening and you saying, wait, that's way more money than what I'm charging currently?
Well, I tried to follow it to a T. Obviously, it doesn't work perfectly for everybody. Everybody's numbers are slightly different. Just tried to stick to it the best I could and spend money a little bit more wisely and raising rates as time goes by. Every job you get a little better. So, every few jobs your rates got to go up a little bit at least.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The goal in business is to make money. It's not to save somebody money, unfortunately. So
For sure. Your
chart,
budget constraints are not my problem. Your
yeah,
budget constraints are your own, and if you can't afford me, it doesn't hurt my feelings.
yeah. No, it's like, okay, Jack, you don't want to pay me what I want to do this floor. Your neighbor 2 houses down will. He wants it done now. I'll go take care of him.
How much pushback did you really find once you started trying to raise your rates, though? Because it's not like you were sitting there and being like, well, it's $1 more, right? It's 10 cents here, a nickel there, 25 cents on this thing. And so overall, as you started increasing your rates, how much pushback did you really see happening over the past 2 years?
So the only pushback I've gotten is from the the stores that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously, they want to make money too. If your labor rates go up and their charge rates for their labor rates aren't going up, they're making less money. Um, and every store wants to make as much money as possible without charging more, essentially, or at least that's what I've come to in my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
All of my personal jobs, I haven't had any pushback on any labor rate changes. There's no questions about it. Um, I just this past week went and gave a quote for I think it was like $2,800 to do 2 bedrooms to rip out some carpet and put some hardwood in. And it's not a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 maybe 3 days worth of work, and I think the quote was like just under $2,500 for 2 bedrooms, and the guy didn't even bat an eye at it.
Got to charge more, man.
I know.
That's funny. No, but that's a great problem, right? Like I think that's what's holding a lot of people back, is they're like, oh, but it's I'm charging more than what the store charges, because I'm assuming you know what the store charges retail, and
Yes.
your retail rates are now more than the store's retail rates,
Yes.
and yet you're not getting pushback. So
Not one bit.
why doesn't the store charge more? Like that's what doesn't make sense to me, is folks that are out there as independent owner operators or running a couple of crews on their own. We generally, well, I guess the next question would be, what is your, compare your clientele to what the retail store clientele is. Do you find that your clientele is easier to work with and less demanding than the typical clientele of the retail store?
Uh, I mean, for me personally, my personal customers, I set a very specific, like outline of the job, like how it's going to go, what's to be expected, step by step sort of layout for them. And I think with retail stores, it's more of, well, these guys are going to show up about, you know, this time to this time. They'll be there for a day or 2 days, whatever the job may be.
Mm-hmm.
And here you get this little square. This is what it's going to look like when it's on the floor, and it'll be done when it's done. And then we're going to take all your money at the end of it.
So from like the interactions you have with them, do you think that the homeowners that you go and vet yourself are a little easier to work with?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And I mean, I'm not chasing leads. All my personal jobs are either people that are referred directly to me, or they've somehow found me, on Facebook, or
Mm-hmm.
just word of mouth stuff. So I'm not out chasing leads.
Yeah.
So they kind of know either what to expect just in reading reviews, that are on Facebook, or, their cousin had me do their floor 6 years ago. They kind of have an idea as of, what type of personality's coming,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it may be, what type of quality the job is going to be completed to. So there's that like interaction, and I haven't even interacted with them yet.
Yeah.
They already know what to expect.
Word of mouth goes a long, long way. What I have found is that when you want to compete at the top of your market, when you can set your business up to be a leader in quality, and you can communicate clearly with the client, and you do what you say, what you're going to, like, when you say you're going to do it, right? So if I'm going to tell them that I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 4 o'clock. If I'm going to deliver the bid by, I'm going to, before I leave, I'm going to tell them you'll have it Tuesday by 8 p.m. and it's going to be in their inbox before Tuesday at 8 p.m. Like, it's little things like that that are going to go a long way. And then I'm able to go in the home and have a conversation with them, get to know them all. But from what I can kind of tell through all of the conversations over doing this for 4 years is that I think the way retail shops are set up is that in order to keep as many crews as they do busy, you have to take a lot of the mediocre clients. And so you're going to make compromises on price, quality, all of these things to be able to keep the machine running. Whereas because we're smaller and a little bit more focused, we only want to deal with a certain part of the market. And it may be a little bit harder and take a little bit more effort to acquire that client. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm making more money, which makes me extremely happy. Like, I want to be able to afford knee surgery if I need it. I don't want to have to worry about how I'm going to afford knee surgery if I need it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And so it sounds like you're kind of finding the same thing, is that there's a little bit of a difference between the clientele. And it's not that the mediocre retail's clientele is horrible. That's not what I'm saying. But it's a different way of running your business, and the people you get to interact with are very different and easier to please because you have more control over the situation, which is why I chose to go and find all of my own leads. And so with everything that's going on, you got a raise through the shop, you were making money, but things started falling apart. And so what kind of happened there? Because you had called me at one point and you were like, dude, I'm going to quit. I got like 6 months worth of my own work lined up. Like, people are just on the board, like, waiting for me to tell them that I can do it. But the shop is keeping me so busy, but they're pissing me off. And so, like, what kind of happened that fell apart, and how did it work when you were like, all right, I'm all in on me doing my own thing?
I, I guess it was uh,
Oh, did I lose you? I've lost Chuck. Is he gonna come back? Oh,
the
there
nail
he
in
is. Hold on.
the
I know.
coffin for me, or
Hold on.
you
Hold on.
know,
You gotta go back. I
throw.
lost you.
Nope.
And no, you're kind of back. There we go.
Are we good?
Now we're good. All right, Chuck's
Okay.
back. Here we go.
All right. So it was kind of I don't know, throw an arrow at a dartboard, close your eyes and pick a reason type deal. Uh, there's just so many little things, and you know, the long work days were what was kind of putting me over edge. And
Hmm.
then I was asked to do something that I wasn't comfortable doing on a job, and that was like the final nail in the coffin type deal. Uh, Obviously, I didn't end up walking away from the store. Uh, it's just too good of I guess, overall relationship, and I don't like to walk away from a good potential partnership where
Hmm.
they obviously value my craftsmanship because they keep me busy. I think currently I'm the furthest scheduled out installer that they have. So I don't know. It was just more of a regulating, like, okay, I'm not working past 5 p.m. I have small children. I'd like to enjoy them also.
Hmm.
So I think it was more of just an understanding from both sides. type deal was what really set it off for me in a sense.
Okay. So they want to, and this is the common thing that I think happens with shops is that they want to treat subcontractors like employees, but have the benefits of you being a subcontractor financially for them. And so they want you to get the job done as quickly as possible, but you're your own guy. They handed
Yeah.
you a work order, and if you want to have it take you 4 days to do it, you have every right to have it take you 4 days to do it. Whether they want it done in two or not, it doesn't matter. Like, they gave you the work order, and so if you want to work until, if you want to work 9 to 5, I work 9 to 5. Like, I don't blame you. And if that pisses them off, well, then they don't have to give you another work order.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it
I've
sounds like you were able to come to an understanding and kind of have that conversation and make it work.
Yeah, the situation was made right on, my
Okay.
part and their part. I probably did overreact just a little bit in that particular situation, but it happens sometimes. We're all humans and we all make mistakes. So,
Hmm. So from the other part of it is you are now doing a lot more projects that you find on your own.
y-
But
yes.
the other thing that happens a lot with these situations is that the shop will keep you so scheduled that you can never get to them, which is why you had like a 6 month backlog of all your own projects, and you just told people like, I'll call you at some point, and you were never able to call them. And so how have you
Yeah.
gone and navigated that conversation with them of, hey man, I'm a subcontractor for you. You don't own me. And I have a project that's going to take me 3 weeks. So I'll be back in 3 weeks and you can start scheduling me out after that. But then I have another project that how have you navigated that, and how do you make your schedule work with them?
So I've tried the scheduling aspect of having so much backlogged work I mean, it's more my lack of responsibility in scheduling stuff. Because if I see I'm booked out, say for 4, 6 weeks with a store,
Hmm.
I'll not schedule said personal work because there's an opening, and I will count on that opening still being there, forget about it, and then 3 weeks into the 6 weeks, I'm still booked out for 6 weeks.
Hmm.
you know. So I mean, it's just a matter of me taking the responsibility and making sure that stuff is scheduled appropriately for personal work.
Well, okay, but if you're making more money doing personal work because you're bidding it higher and you get more of that money, why would you not make that the priority? Now
I
we got a whole
that
nother question here, Chuck. What
Yeah,
the hell, man?
that's the real question, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's really just a bad habit of easy, like, I'm responsible for the labor part of the job for stores, so I guess it's just easier in a sense to take that little bit of pay cut and maybe not try and force personal work into the schedule, cause conflict. And I don't know, I guess it's not personal, it's a poor choice decision making. There we go, in
Did
a
they
sense.
do they punish you when you tell them that you have to book something else out? Do they start giving you less work and stuff?
Um, I haven't had any issues like that when I do have to squeeze a personal job in. There
Okay.
are other installers that have told me. I remember, obviously, I'm one of the longest uh, staying. I guess I don't know if that's the correct wording for it. Long-term installers that a particular store has. There's only like one other subcontractor that's maybe two that have been there longer than I have now. And I remember, coming up in the trade and guys be like, yeah, you don't want to push so and so's work, or you'll get black booked and they just won't
Hmm.
schedule you for 2 months and then you'll have to go chase your own work. I've never had any issues like that personally. Um, if I get an emergency personal job, usually as long as I give the store like 2 weeks,
Hmm.
I've never gotten any you know, anything negative from them and any,
Okay.
repercussions or anything like that.
I mean, it sounds like communication is key here, right? As long as they
Yeah.
know what you're trying to do, and look, I get it that the store wants you to come and work for them. They want to know that they can count on you, but at the same, again, folks, you're a subcontractor. They don't own you, and they can't control you. And so, if you want to go have personal work, and they're not going to work with you on it, I don't think it's worth it. That's not a good relationship. Just in the same way that, again, if you're a subcontractor, they can't force you to wear their shirt. They can't stop you from showing up in your truck and trailer, van, whatever setup you have, and it being completely wrapped with your signage on the outside. Now, again, do they have to hire you for the next project? No, they don't, because they want to focus on their brand, and I get that. But at the same time, they have subbed your brand the project, and so you have every right to be able to build that. Now, would I go, and if Bob from next door comes up to me while I'm installing store A's project, I'm going to tell Bob that he needs to contact store A, and then if he would like to request me to do the install, we can do that. But if I'm on my own project and Chuck comes over and says, "Hey man, what's going on?" Well, now I can sell me. So it's you have to have some integrity in there and make things work. But communication is probably the biggest thing. It comes back to the lesson of you don't get what you don't ask for. And I think a lot of people just aren't going to the table and actually asking for some kind of, I need this out of this relationship. You there? There you are. You're back.
I lost you like halfway through.
Okay. Well, it's good. I'm just running my mouth. The problems that you've had with them has most of it resulted from lack of communication? Do you think that's been a lot of it? Like it's just a misunderstanding, or somebody didn't go and make the request of.
And I'm still trying to connect here.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I can hear you. There you go.
I'm having a terrible time trying to hear you.
Okay. Your video's back. You're moving. We're gonna get through this one, folks.
Okay.
What
I heard the first half. I kind of missed out on the second half of
Okay.
it, but
Well, so essentially, it comes down to the problems that you've had with the store. Do you think most of them have just stemmed from communication issues, where something wasn't communicated or something wasn't asked for when it was needed?
yeah, I would say like a vast majority of issues. I think in general with subbing for stores comes from communication issues. Personally.
And that it's so simple. What I was saying was that it for me, it comes down to, it's a really simple thing I learned long ago. I want to say it's what is it? It's Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves. What is that? Devil's Advocate. I want to say it's a movie, and
Is that the one where one of them was a lawyer?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and so Pacino's in there, and he's given the speech as the devil or whatever. He's like, you don't get what you don't ask for. And I love that line because it's so true. Like, that's it, folks. If you can't advocate for yourself, I don't think you should run a business. And that's really, I'm not being mean. That is my opinion, and that's what I'm going to put out there. If you cannot advocate for yourself, you should not run a business. If you can't go and ask for what you want, how are you ever going to get it? Because nobody else is going to give it for you. No one else will give you what you want if you don't know how to go and ask for it yourself. Like, you were just hoping that something goes your way. That's an insane way to run a business and hope everything works out. I can't do it. So I think that's what needs to happen, right? And so you've started having a different communication level, and you've started educating yourself on business, and that's where things have truly changed for you. They were never going to pay you more unless you went and asked for it. Oh, this internet is. Are you there? I can hear you.
I'm kind of here.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time with audio, like
Do we want to?
receiving.
This is your house Wi-Fi, or is this on your phone, or what are we doing here?
Might be good now.
We're gonna make this work, folks. We're gonna get through this. I promise. Okay, you're back. You want to try your phone, man? Will that be better? He's still frozen. Here's what we're gonna do. We're about halfway through, so we're gonna do our ad break with from John's Manville, and we're gonna fit that in here. You want to try your phone?
Yeah,
Okay, hop on your phone, and then I'll let you in. I'm gonna read this ad while you start getting that set up.
let's try that.
Okay,
My phone.
cool. I will read the ad while you start getting that set up. Zero entry, curbless, ADA compliant. All these words describe a shower pan style that is both luxurious and accessible for every person. GoBoard Point Drain was designed with this in mind. The low profile features and adjustable riser perfectly enable a zero entry installation. Whether you install mud pans or use GoBoard wedges, the integrated membrane keeps water securely flowing in the right direction, down the drain. Visit www.jm.com/GoBoard to discover the possibilities. For real, go check them out. Go to the website, look at all of the options that you can do with GoBoard. Super awesome stuff. Very flexible warranty. Lots of different sealants you can use. Their wedges allow, and the point drain allow for curbless. Super great product, and appreciative of the relationship that we have with them. So, Chuck, we're back.
I think so. I think I got it figured out.
All right. Okay. We will keep this rocking and rolling. All right. So you've essentially been able to charge more, not only to the store,
Yes.
but also to personal clients. You're staying busy between the store and personal clients. I'm gonna tell you got to work on the personal clients, man. That's gonna be the way to go. And so we're making more money now, and it's been 2 years. So I'm gonna assume that gross revenue and net profit are both up in your pocket, and you're much happier, and your wife's not ready to kill you.
Yes, for the most part.
Anything outside of the money, she can kill you for you being an ass. Like that's
Yeah.
probably standard operating procedure. But money wise, she's probably happy that there's money in the bank account.
Yes.
We got a savings rocking and rolling, stuff like that. It's actually growing. Not yet.
I wouldn't say so much on the savings.
Okay.
I got the new truck. It's
Okay.
it's pricey. It
Yeah.
takes a big chunk. She got a new car.
Okay.
Takes a big chunk.
Look at that.
Uh,
In 2 years, man. In 2 years, a new truck, a new car. I like it. Okay.
Obviously tools are never stopped being purchased.
Yeah, but you can
all
purchase
types of-
them now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've run out of space in my work trailer. I don't even have any more room for tools. I got to buy a new trailer.
I know that problem. I think that okay. So the next thing we should work on, and I'm going to put out an episode on this very soon. I'm trying to get it scheduled. I'm gonna do an episode on why everyone needs a fuck you bank account. So
That is one I will listen to.
keep out an eye for that episode to drop. Probably it should drop in January. It's not going to make December, folks. I don't think. Maybe it does. I don't think so though. Late December, early January. We'll be talking about a fuck you bank account. And if you don't know what that is, you're definitely going to want to tune in and find out. And even if you do kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about, you're going to want to know why you need
pretty sure.
one for your business and why you need one for your personal life. And it'll completely change your business. But we'll dig into that on a different one. All right, so I mean, you're moving forward, and it's not just you anymore. You have some employees now.
Yes.
And please tell me they're W-2 and that you have taxes taken out. Don't tell me they're 1099. I'm going to yell at you.
Okay. So they are currently. It was more of a short-term plan just because I wasn't sure that they were going to work out or not.
Okay.
I think with the first of the year coming around, it's going to get switched.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's I mean that portion of it's going great, honestly. But yeah, I think after the first of the year, it's going to get switched.
Okay.
Ran a little bit more properly.
Mm-hmm. Go get that workers' comp policy, get them on W-2, pay the
Got
taxes.
that already. It's just the business portion of it is the understanding of it. Everything's a learning portion. You got to learn it to do it.
Yes. Look, I'm just happy you're not like, oh no, it's fine, it's good. No, let's set it up legit and do what we need to do. But you have two of them. You've acquired two guys in the past 2 years, and I think that's a big move, man. It went from you not making enough money to, like you just said, right? The wife got a car, you got a truck, you've been buying tools, you're paying employees out now, and yet you still have more money in your pocket, but yet at least 50% of your work is still coming from the store that you were going broke through before.
Yes.
How do you make all of that happen? Because that's not a story that I think you're going to hear a lot.
Well, I had 3 guys 4 months ago. One was just a temporary hire, but it was something that was definitely working. More guys you have, the more work you can take on. I don't know. I think it's just the will and the want, and it's more of a. I heard a really good quote that kind of described it very well. It's working on your business and not working in your business.
Mm-hmm. Michael Gerber, ebook.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
It's being able to take maybe a step or two back and look at how things can improve instead of just trying to knuckle down and make things work.
Mm-hmm. Well, so how hard has it been to step back and let them handle it? I think that's the problem with most of us is that we don't want to step back and nobody's going to do it as good as me. I can't trust you. We don't want to let go of the reins.
It's hard. It's really hard. Especially with my business being so tightly attached to my personal name, I take my work a little bit more probably personally, I think. But it's becoming easier to take a step back, go out and I'll go organize the trailer. You guys keep working type deal or, whatever. Or I'm going to make a trip to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, go get stuff I know we need for tomorrow's job. It was very hard at first. Very, very hard.
For sure. I remember being there. It was like, can I trust you to leave for like 30 minutes while I run to Home Depot? Like, don't burn the house down, dude. Here's the tube of caulk. I need you to caulk the baseboards. Like, let's start with that. It wasn't installing. It wasn't anything crazy. It was like, okay, you're caulking the baseboards just fine. Like, I'll be back in 30 minutes, man. Like, let me go do that. But I think you start with little things and you kind of work your way up. They're both like apprentices, right? Neither one's like a full-fledged installer or anything like that. You can't leave them to do jobs completely on their own or anything.
I wouldn't go. I would say, as far as like carpet goes, I could probably leave them on like taking care of a drop bedroom and then checking on it before it's wrapped up.
Hmm.
Um, if some doorway seams got to be burned together or whatever it may be, like that could probably get done. Um, click together vinyl. I honestly, as long as the floor is flat,
Good luck.
um, yeah, I could probably start it, make sure everything's square, starting off and leave the job completely. Uh, and then come back when it's time to,
Hmm.
do trim and stuff like that. Um, I mean, they're coming along
Hmm.
very, very well.
Have you put anything in place to make that like a more formalized process? Is there like standards that you've written down of like, this is how we're going to walk in
We,
the house and we do it this way every time?
uh, yes, I'm trying to do one job a week where one of them is in charge, essentially. Um, and I'm the apprentice type deal until they come across something that
Perfect. Love it.
they are unsure of or that they can't do, you know, kind of let them plot out how
Hmm.
the day is going to run. And great idea, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I love to hear it because for me, like the reason I recommend doing that, right, is if you go and you tell them, hey, you're the lead guy, I'm the apprentice, and I'm going to help you, you get to test their knowledge of what you've actually instilled in them. Can they run a project? At what point do they struggle? And you can step in and then educate them again on the process or how you want it done. But now you get to see, do they have the customer service skills? Do they have the ability to figure out where we start a project? Do they know, how to even open a box and start reading instructions instead of start just grabbing flooring and installing it, right? Like you can start seeing all of the little things. Can they anticipate when they're going to need a tool, and are they looking 3, 4, 5 steps ahead, or are they only focused on the current task that they're doing because they haven't learned the task well enough to envision the job down the road, right? And so you can start seeing all the little things, and I think that's where it makes it easier to let go, is because now you're there to guide them, but you've empowered them to make the decisions, and you can say, "Oh my God, like they really did listen, right? They're kids, and not like that's what I look at them as, right? Like just like I for my son or my daughter, like I'm going to teach them a skill. I'm going to step back and see if they can do it, and I have to trust that at some point they're going to be old enough to go out into the real world on their own and do it. And I'm going to say, hey, go spread your wings and fly. But if they screw up, like I'm here, I'm a phone call away or whatever, and I can help guide them and answer questions and push them along in the right direction. And I think it's the same thing. And once you start seeing that they actually know what they're doing and they do it right, it's easier to start taking those steps back and say, oh, I do trust you. This isn't so hard to walk away and leave you for half an hour, 2 hours, half a day, and trust you to do it. And it lets you know that they know those quality standards and that they're not, just because you disappear, they're not going to cheat it in, because they actually have to start
Yeah.
telling you why they're doing things a certain way. And if you know the why, then you generally won't take the shortcut.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no, that's I've tried to set like repetitions on jobs, especially, with the hard surface stuff. I have a habit of if there's a product that I'm working with, I haven't worked with it before or I'm not super familiar with it, I grab that booklet out of a box
mhm.
and I'll spend the first hour of the day, half hour, whatever it may be, and I'll read that line for line.
Yeah.
And you know, every what is it, boxes of material, there's the same booklet. I'll grab, three of them. I'll take one. I'll give one to one apprentice, one to another apprentice.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. It's so funny. Like I've had clients be like, "You're reading the instructions," and I'm like, "Yeah, man. Everyone's different." Like I just pulled out a set the other day. I made a post about it in Flooring Installers of America on Facebook, and the picture showed that it was supposed to be a drop-in lock with like the little plastic clippy gauge. And I was like, this isn't a drop-in lock. Like this is angle. What am I supposed to do? Like start smashing it together?
Should have.
So I would have loved to and like sent them pictures and been like, this doesn't work right. Can I get a claim? Like just to mess with them. But like you need to be educated enough, but there's no harm, there's no shame in being a man and reading instructions and following them and doing it, especially with what we do. There is a lot of liability. If you screw up a floor and it's a $10,000 floor, man, I want to keep my $10,000. I do not want to be replacing it and coming out of pocket $10,000. Oh, well, it's just labor. No, it's the material, it's the labor, it's the lost cost on not being able to do another project that week. So it's actually twice as expensive as just replacing that single job because you lost out on another project as well. So a $10,000 project became a $20,000 project. No, thank you. I'll spend 10 minutes and read instructions and make sure I get it done right.
Oh.
We've lost him again, folks.
Yeah.
Now he's back.
I might be losing you again.
We did for a second.
Oh, man.
You're back. You're kind of here. So any thoughts on...
Okay.
You know, we're building you back better, right? We're getting this actual thing in from owning a job and showing up to a retailer and getting a work order, and there's actually a business. There's employees now. There's you doing work. You're trying to step back. Any thoughts on getting certifications from CFI or CTEF or NWFA for you or the guys in the future? Are we looking at really trying to get like a good business model set up and, you know, get like an employee handbook, have mission statement, vision statement, core values, and, you know, get that org chart made? What are we looking at doing here in the future, Chuck? How serious are we taking this thing, and where are we going down the road?
I mean, I would definitely personally like to be, you know, certified. I mean, at this point, I don't know that it would really be beneficial in a sense of I need the certification, but it would justify maybe the rates for work a little more if there were a question for it, in a sense. I would definitely, you know...
It's fine, man. Dude, this is real life. We're lucky that my dogs haven't done anything or my kids haven't yelled and screamed, but they're in other episodes. It's cool, man. No worries. They're still going, folks. What else? We've had some other questions. I've got other stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I see them, but I try not to interrupt us with stuff.
Okay. I think we're good.
Okay.
I think that, you know, getting the guys certified would be beneficial for them in the long run. And, you know, an employee handbook would be nice as well, obviously. I don't see that in the immediate future. Maybe something, you know, long term. You know, maybe make that like a 3 to 5 year goal. You know, just trying to set regiments for the younger guys, you know, try and teach, you know, how to, you know, it's not so much even work, you know, more life lessons involved in work also, I think would be beneficial in the long term of business.
Love to hear that. Yes. If we're not making it about people, we are doing it wrong, folks. It is not just about what you can do on the floor. If you have it's not even just a young person working for you. I don't care who it is, right? you have to be interested in them and more than just what they can bring to the table while they are with you for the 8 hours. Like, what is going on in their outside life? What do they aspire to do? What motivates them? What gets them excited? Where do they want to go in life? And be interested, like for real, and then help them
Yeah.
accomplish that stuff. You want
It's
loyal people. That's how you're going to get them.
first thing I ask on Monday morning is, how was the weekend? You do anything interesting? Oh, that's cool. This is what we did. You know,
Hmm.
both the guys that work for me are, younger guys. Um, they're fresh out of high school for the
Damn, nice
most part.
pickup. Okay.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Um, yes, very lucky.
Oh, okay. So I gotta. Where did you find them and how?
So
Give that
one of
information away.
them, one of them is a relative. Um, and the other one is a friend of said relative. Um, and they both just happened to be looking for jobs at the same time. And I was like, hey, you guys want to give flooring a shot? I got space.
Okay.
I will teach you, even if you don't stick it out with me, you'll leave knowing something, and you can take just about anything you learn in flooring and apply it to the next job anyway. So if it doesn't work out in the long term, you'll take some knowledge away from it.
Good sales pitch. And you're not worried
Yeah,
about them leaving. Like, I think that's the
I'm
best thing,
not.
right? Is don't, if you want employees, don't get hung up on them leaving and don't get mad. Like, that's part of the risk you take running a business. Like, the goal is to hope that they stay. But if they don't, just leave them better than you found them.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, especially in with the younger guys, you're more of, I guess, a mentor than you really are an employer. Um, just treat them how you would want to be treated at that age.
Which doesn't involve throwing trowels at them and pulling pranks on
Yeah,
them
or
and
hatchets or,
telling them they're pieces of
whatever,
shit.
rolls of
And,
pad.
yeah. You can have fun. Don't get me wrong. I
Yeah,
love pranks. I love having a good time, but not when it's on purpose to make a fool out of somebody. Like it's
yeah.
one thing to like play a joke on somebody, but it's another when it's completely at their expense to just make them feel like shit. Don't
I
be the boomer contractor that's an asshole on purpose. Stop
yeah.
it.
I've only I've let the one look for a board stretcher for about 5 minutes, and that was enough.
That's funny.
That's too much torture. I described it to him and everything. He went and looked for it. Obviously, it never got found.
See, what you do? You got to send them to Home Depot, right? You send them
Oh,
on the Home Depot run, and you have them go and look for a long wait.
a long wait. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and then they keep going around and they're asking like, "Hey, can I get a long wait? Like, I need a long wait." And if anybody knows, like, they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, hold on,"
yep,
and just leave them there, and they'll have a long wait. Ha 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 ha! Good play on words. Funny. It's, if you have time to kill and you want to pay somebody $20 an hour to go stand around for an hour, it's funny. But
yeah.
like no one really gets hurt in that. But some other stuff,
No, no,
let's come on. We don't need to belittle people. We don't need to tell them they're pansies. Stop it. Let's build people up.
no.
Let's make them better.
Yeah, yeah. It's all it. You gotta laugh throughout the day.
And maybe that's my soft millennial side, right? Maybe that's the millennial in me coming out
Yeah,
instead of
me
like the
too.
more Gen X me. But honestly, like I didn't like being yelled at all the time, and I got yelled at a lot of jobs that I worked at, and it never made me feel good. It never made me want to work harder. It made me want to work hard enough to just not get yelled at.
Yeah,
But the people that built me up, I would go to the end of the earth for them, and I would put in overtime. I would work harder. I would try and get more done. And then y'all wonder why nobody wants to work for you. And so
yeah.
here's Chuck with two young kids, and they're enjoying working for him. So I don't know. He might be onto something. They like it so far, though. They're totally in. They're
Um,
dedicated. They're enjoying it. They're not looking for They're not trying to go work at Pizza Hut anytime soon or anything.
no, no. I definitely foresee one of them making it a career, not so much a
Okay.
job. Uh, the other one's probably, he's on the fence. He hasn't quite made the decision yet, I don't think.
Hmm.
There's still potential for growth, but um, maybe, you know, it's a possibility for him.
Okay.
He has the want to know. So as long as
That's
you're
key.
willing to learn, you know, you can do anything.
Hmm. Hmm. That's the ticket right there. If you've got the person that sits in your van on the ride home and is asking you questions at the end of the day, that's a keeper.
Yeah.
It's the people that you tell them it's the end of the day, they sit there and they be quiet or they start talking about anything but work. Like I want the dude that's like, why'd we do it that way? Why'd that happen? That was me. I mean, that's why this show even exists, right? I'm just like, I got the questions and I want the answers. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
how
would
I
we not
was
be doing
too.
that? We got asked earlier. There was I think the question disappeared. It was, do you have different rates for different clients? And so
I have a
I will say that
store
personally,
rate,
no, I don't.
store rate, and personal rate. I don't adjust anything outside of that. There's no difference.
Yeah,
You
it does.
can, if you're living in a $200, fifth wheel trailer, I'm going to charge you the same rates as the people that are living in the 10,000 square foot
Mm-hmm.
house. Unfortunately, sorry. If
Yeah,
that doesn't work for you, I can send one of my apprentices, and maybe he can take care of you.
and hopefully, well, I would hope he would charge the same rates that you were charging.
I hope so.
So yeah, that's my take on it too. I don't care where you live. I don't care if your house is a shack or if it's a bajillion-dollar mansion. The only way my rates differ are by liability, and so I'll go like I'll resort to tile for this example. If I'm installing $1 a square foot tile, let's say I can do it for 350 a square foot. I don't know if that's a good rate or not, folks. And maybe that is for just labor, not setting material and everything, right? Like we're just it's 99 cents a square foot tile and it's 12 by 12s, okay? And I'm going to charge you 350 a square foot. If I somehow now get 12 by 12s that are travertine and they run $10 a square foot, then I'm going to assess the liability on the project and I'm going to look at, is 350 a square foot a good rate to actually install that tile? Then what happens if it's $100 a square foot tile? Is now what's the liability on it? What is handling it require? And I'm going to start looking at, what do I need to charge to make this worth my while to do? And so prices change based on the liability taken by the company, not necessarily by where it is. I don't care if I'm in the ghetto or in the rich neighborhood. The price is the price based on liability. So I guess maybe the ghetto does get charged more because if I'm going to get shot, like I need to charge more because I don't want to be
Yeah,
there. But
that's a
you know,
hazardous environment. You got to charge accordingly.
yes, just like if I look at something and I see that it's a third story condo with no elevator and no water, that's going to be a different price than the ground floor unit that has the spigot right there on the corner outside. So I look at things from the term of, how am I, like, what's the liability? How long is it going to take me? What does it take to make it happen? As opposed to, I don't care if you have the Ferrari parked outside. Honestly, if you have a Ferrari parked in front of your house, you're probably going to try and nickel and dime me.
I don't want to work for the guy with the Ferrari. I walked out of a job like that just
I don't.
because the guy he uh was trying to nickel and dime.
Uh huh. You want to know
And
why?
he's got a Ferrari payment to make.
That's exactly it. Is everything he has is probably leverage. Folks, if you haven't listened to go read or listen to the book Everyday Million, or no, not Everyday Millionaire, The Millionaire Next Door. Go listen to that book. It has amazing statistics. They're old, but they're still going to run true. People that have that kind of a lifestyle where they're flashy and they have the watch and the clothes and the cars and the big house, they're probably living leveraged on everything and have a ton of debt, and that's why they want to nickel and dime you. Whereas when you show up to the doctor that has the Toyota Corolla or Camry and a $500,000 house, like that dude's going to give you a check and not ask questions when you tell him it's $50,000. And it's because he's not he has money, he's built himself up, he's probably a millionaire, and you're never even going to know it because he doesn't show it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. I love those people. They're my people.
Yeah. Those are my favorite kind of customer.
And it's just everyday average Joes. And I think that's what you're looking for, right? If you want to go run your own show and really find a good clientele, you find the people that are upper middle class, don't live a leveraged lifestyle, try not to live in debt. And that was my bread and butter. That's how I've made it all happen for me. I think you probably find kind of the same thing with the folks that you work with, and on the personal side that's who's making it happen. Those are the people that when you show up, they don't really complain about price. They're just like, yeah, that sounds good. Here you go.
Yeah.
What else is going on, man? Anything that we didn't really hit on that like are some big changes for you?
I don't really think so. I mean, just kind of everyday grind for the most part, rinse, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Any sage words of advice? Anything that you've learned along the way that you think has really helped make all of this work over the last 2 years?
Speak it into existence. Manifest it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing you can do for yourself. Don't give up.
You got like goals written down anywhere?
I used to keep them on the calendar, but I got little post-it notes all over the inside of the trailer now, so that everyone else doesn't have to look at my stuff.
Hey, it doesn't. They're where you can see them, and they annoy the shit out of you, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
like
perfect.
When you pull the bucket of caulk out, and there's like 6 little post-it notes in there of stupid things you scribbled on it. I've got like life quotes written on the top of the workbench in the trailer too. Just little motivational stuff, and like you look at it, you're like, yeah, that's cool. All right, that really irritates me, but it still makes sense. It's still applicable.
If it irritates you, it's probably because you haven't done it yet, right?
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. That's the thing is like if you are gonna. Most goals fail because we can't hold ourselves accountable to it. And so if you will write it down, that's a different step than like thinking it or saying it out loud. But if you go post that on your mirror in your bathroom, on the dash in your van, whatever you got to do, right? Somewhere that you see it every day and it is staring you down. Man, it's a game changer. You are going to accomplish that goal because you want to get rid of it. You are like, I got to get this thing out of my way.
Yeah. I had one that was like the center console on my truck is huge, and I had it stuck over the hazard button. So every time it would fall off, because the dashboard gets a little dusty, I'd have to pick it up and put it back up there, rub it back on, and then doing that every day until like I finally finished said goal or whatever it was, and then finally being able to like crumple it up and throw it in the garbage was nice. Getting it out of the way.
Yeah. Good for you, man. I love it. I think you have come such a long way. I'm super excited for what you're accomplishing. I'm happy to hear that things have moved in such a positive direction for you, because initially, man, you were frustrated as hell. You were like, I don't know why I'm doing this. This sucks. Like, I love what I do, but it's a dark place to like sit there and look at your numbers and be like, oh shit, I'm going broke. Like, it was bad, man. I remember. And that's not the guy that we're talking to right now. It is a complete 180 on your career. And I like, other than providing you with a simple tool, you did this yourself, man. I made something for you to be able to make a realization, and you decided to do the work. And that's the amazing part, is how much work you've had to do. And so if nobody else has told you, Chuck, you're kicking ass, man, and good for you.
Well,
I'm proud of
you.
you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been a journey.
That it is.
It has.
Look, it can be hard, folks. It's a dumb quote, and we're all sick of hearing it. And you're like, oh yeah, whatever. There's only one way to eat an elephant, and it's one bite at a time, right? But that's how we're gonna do anything. If you had asked Chuck 2 years ago if any of this shit was accomplishable, I'm sure he would have been like, oh hell no, I can't do any of it. But
Yeah.
2 years and little by little, here we are. And now it seems like so much more can be accomplished, but you know that it's just every day, man. It's a little bit, right? You said work on your business, not just in it, right? And so
Yes.
how much time do you give a day or a week to actually step back and work on it?
Hour a day,
Beautiful.
every day. It's in my work calendar. It's after the kids go to sleep. Even if it's just, sitting down at the computer for an hour and looking over, pictures from this week's work or whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out, little things, how to be more time sensitive, make things work maybe a little faster, uh, planning ahead for the following week, even, on like a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah, usually try to do about an hour
Love it.
a day,
15 minutes minimum,
Monday through
folks.
Friday.
Do something. 15 minutes, right? I don't care what you want to do. You want to build out an employee handbook. You want to come up with a, apprenticeship training guide. Give 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day is almost 2 hours a week. It's an hour and 45 minutes. If you can't find 15 minutes in your day, I guarantee you I'll find it for you. And I'm going to do it right now. Don't death scroll TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Stop. 15 minutes. Set a timer. Sit down. Open up the watch app on your phone. Set a timer for 15 minutes and decide what you want to work on for your business. The first 15 minutes, start writing some goals down. And everyone's like, well, I don't know. How do I start? Where do I go? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Okay, so now look at your 5-year goals, right? Write 3 to 5, no more, 3 to 5 of where you want to be at in 5 years. Take those 5-year goals and break them down a little bit and figure out what that looks like in 3 years. So what do you need to accomplish in 3 years to be able to finish those off and be there in 5? All right, now we got 3-year goals. So now where do you want to be at in a year, right? So take those 3-year goals and break them down and have a step of what you can start doing to get there, start being there in a year. And then take those year-long goals, break them down into 4 steps each. And each one of those steps is going to be for a quarter. So for 3 months, you got 90 days. What do you need to accomplish in 90 days so that at the end of the year, you have accomplished all 4 sets of 90 days and you've accomplished that goal? I will use it again. If you want to do $1 million in revenue, that's $250,000 per quarter. There are 13 weeks in a quarter, which means it's $20,000 a week in revenue. $20,000 a week in revenue does not seem nearly as much as $1 million a year. $20,000 in revenue a year seems very, very accomplishable. If you're selling material on like an average, my average LVP projects were running like $5,000 in material and $5,000 in labor for each week. So if I could have sold 2 projects a week, 50 weeks a year, there's $1 million in revenue. That seems much more manageable than saying I want to do $1 million in revenue. Break your stuff down, work it backwards, and then start going forwards. And 15 minutes a day, an hour a day, that's what's going to make the difference. Talking about it, cool. Now go do something about it. That's why Chuck's here. Chuck's doing shit, and I love it.
Yeah. Trying my hardest to do shit.
Finding the time, man. Like you said, you're ignoring the wife a little bit. I get it. But you've probably talked with her and set it up, or you're working on it with her?
Yes.
Even better.
Yes.
Get her involved. I love it. Family business. Everyone's involved. Everyone's on the same
Hey,
page.
it's like I said, it's directly linked to the name, so
Hmm.
everybody gets a little piece of it if they want it.
Okay. No, I love that. I love that that's happening. So it's but you're putting in the time, right? And that's what's going to make the difference. It's not just, oh fuck, I got to put in another 2 hours, and so it's now a 10-hour day. If you put in
Yeah.
the 10-hour day, you still got to put in the hour afterwards to figure out how you're going to make it better in the long run.
Yeah.
Stop just doing the work and trying to earn the revenue. You have to figure out how to keep the revenue. You have to figure out how to build the revenue. You have to figure out how to advertise. You got to figure out how to train. You got to figure out new methods. You got to figure out new materials to use. You don't do that while you're busy on the floor. Step back, get your 30,000-foot view, because when you're installing, you get a 12-inch view. And that 1-foot view of your business isn't going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
Right on, man. I absolutely love it, dude. Again, I'm super proud of you. I think it's absolutely awesome what you're doing and how well you're doing. Pretty soon we're gonna do another interview with you in the future, and you're gonna be telling me that you're like snagging up all the super rundown properties in Detroit, and you're like
And
rehabbing them, and
it's,
you're like a super duper investment like millionaire now.
that's a goal. It's
Good,
up there.
good. Dude, they're cheap. There's like homes for like 20 grand, folks. They're still like super cheap in
Yeah.
Detroit. Now, you might get shot when you go in the neighborhood, but if you save up
Nah.
enough money, you could buy the whole block, and so then you can just drive
Yeah.
out all the people on the block.
Then it's safe.
Exactly. Regentrify the whole block. But no, I think you probably have some amazing goals. Again, I'm super excited, like I to see where you're going to go, what you're going to accomplish, and I'm glad to hear you got family involved and you got more time with the kids now, and you've set standards, and I think that's the biggest thing is you've learned that you control the business. It doesn't control you, right? If I set the time and the hours and I put the guardrails on it, life becomes much easier.
Oh yeah. It's like using bumpers bowling.
That's it, man. Get your bumpers set up, folks. Stop ending up
Right.
in the damn gutter. Well, right on, man. I love it. So, what do we got here? We've got check out the website flooracademypod.com. Again, if the show's helping you and you are getting awesome nuggets out of this, help support it. Patreon.com/flooracademy. Like $5 a month goes a long way. If you want to give more than that, that's even better. I appreciate all of the Patreon supporters on the website. You can see a list of who's giving, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you helping support this and getting amazing information into our industry's ear holes on a weekly basis. Make sure you subscribe, leave a review, go ahead and hit the share button, tell people that this show is helping you grow your business. Don't keep this to yourself. If this thing is helping you grow your business and you're doing better, the more people that run a better business in our industry, the better our industry will be. Do not get the mindset that is closed-minded and short-sighted of, I have to be the most successful one. If everyone is being successful, we will all do better because we will have higher standards, higher quality, which means we can charge more, and everyone will do better. There's more than enough work to go around, folks. It's a big country. There's 300 plus million people in it. There's plenty of work. Don't worry about it. You can share. And if somebody wants to be the low bidder, let them go be the low bidder. Go find different clientele. Right. That person's not for you anyways. Check out the store. Go get a hoodie. It's cold outside. It's December. So that profit is not a dirty word hoodie. That's perfect. Show up to Tyson that and find me and we'll take a picture. And I'll be wearing mine. And then we'll go make some profit and it'll be great. What else do we got here? I don't know. We got a couple of we got to do a couple sponsors here. So it's nearing show season again, and I want to remind you that the International Surface event is returning to Las Vegas January 24th through January 26, 2024. Mark your calendars now. Floor Academy podcast listeners have the opportunity to register for free no, it's not in September. Right now, you can register for free right now using promo code Kyle, Kyle. Can't mess it up. Can't forget it. It's my name. You all know who I am. So whether you're an installer, retailer, distributor, or serve in another capacity within our industry, attending TICE is a solid resource to expand your knowledge and networking base. You can also learn about the newest and industry-leading products coming to market, stay up to date with the International Surfaces event page on Facebook, or online at intlsurfaceevent.com. And don't forget about my Pulse seminar. They're Pulse seminars, right? So if you've been listening for like the hour and 15 minutes and I couldn't remember that it was a Pulse seminar, sign up for my Pulse seminar on the 24th, and I'll be talking about how to have a better view of your organizational chart for your company and why you need one, and what just changing your view on it is going to do to help improve communication within your company. And lastly, you know the grind, the dust, the rain, the cold. We do too. We're IQ Power Tools, born from the sweat and grit of two Masons who knew there had to be a better way. We're not just making tools, we're elevating the whole damn game. From our hands to yours, our story is your story. So let's cut the dust, not the ambition. Can't wait to meet you where it all happens, the job site. For more information on IQ Power Tools and their products, check out the link in the show notes. Click on the link, folks. Click on all the links for the sponsors. It helps me. They're tracking that stuff. It lets them know that you're paying attention, you're listening, you're interested in what they have to offer, and it helps support the show, right? So if this show's doing something for you, go help me help the sponsors out. They are the ones that are helping provide this content to you, and so they've all got great products. IQ, even if you're not a tile person, their vacuum, top notch. Absolutely love my IQ vac. I can do dustless tile removal with it. I can grind with it and meet OSHA compliance. And it's just a hell of a vacuum. It's way better than just having the standard shop vac that you picked up over at Home Depot, that big orange rigid one. And if you're going to tell me that you got the $600 HEPA vac from one of the other brands that has like the knocker thing in it, I'm going to tell you, for a couple $100 more, this IQ vac will kick the crap out of it. And then if you are a tile installer, they got some awesome saws. So go check them out. You can cut right there in the house, not making a mess. They got some good stuff. Just click on the link, go visit the website, and see what they got going on. And thanks again, folks, for listening. I appreciate all the sponsors. I appreciate everyone that contributes on Patreon. And Chuck, thank you for joining us and giving us an update on what's going on with you. We'll catch you next week, folks. You're welcome, man. My pleasure.